Deep in the darkest corners of the internet lies a YouTube channel that is beyond what is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is a YouTube channel which we call Flash Forward Reviews.
A Nightmare on Elm Street was released in 1984 and was directed by Wes Craven. It stars Heather Langenkamp and Robert Englund. It is about teenagers facing some kind of demon that is in their nightmares. So when you think of the big slasher trilogies, your mind's automatically going to go to Halloween with Michael Myers, Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees, and then A Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. Now, out of all of these movies, I gotta say, and I don't know if this is popular and unpopular, because I know like the big debate is usually which one's the best between Halloween and A Nightmare on Elm Street, but I lean more towards A Nightmare on Elm Street being better than Halloween. Now, with that being said, Halloween's a great movie. It's, you know, of course it's become a little bit cornier with time, and A Nightmare on Elm Street is a little bit corny now because of it. And even back then it was a little corny, but there is so much to love about A Nightmare on Elm Street. There's so many great things about it. Freddy Krueger as a killer is just so interesting, and his character, as much as you hate him, and he's such a despicable person, he has so many funny lines, and it doesn't take away from the fact that he's terrifying. And there's just so much to talk about with this movie, so let's just start getting away, like, and going through all of the pros of this, because there's so many. So to start, I absolutely love the death scenes in this movie, and by that I specifically mean, oh, that's a spoiler. I was really about to say someone who dies. There is a death that is, there's many deaths in this movie, but there's one in particular that I think is the most famous, and if you look at a lot of ranking videos, this would be up there for like a top 15, top 20 death in any horror movie. And I know you guys are probably thinking about some deaths in your head that could possibly be. I'll just say that it involves going up a wall and ceiling, and that's all I'll say. Such an amazing death. And on top of that, the effects for Freddy's messed up face are done so well. He's so nasty. Like, there's no other word to describe Freddy than just nasty. But man, do those effects look, still to this day, his face makeup and all of that look great. And on top of that, Nancy Thompson is such an amazing final girl, if not the final girl you think of in any slasher movies. Now, I know Jamie Lee Curtis, everyone knows her, everyone knows, I always forget the actress's name, Adrienne King in Friday the 13th as Alice, with, as I said, Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. But Nancy Thompson probably is the most famous out of all of those people in terms of the horror genre. I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis is the more well-known name, but when you're thinking of characters, I think Nancy Thompson, and she is a fantastic final girl who is just ready to fight. She wants all the smoke, which I absolutely love about her. On top of all of that, the plot is so interesting, and all these little folds that you kind of unravel as the story goes on, and figure out more of who's Freddy, why is this happening to the kids, why are the parents acting so weird about all of this. Everything just with time starts to unfold, and you start to realize more and more and more of the story, and it's just so interesting and so much fun. And I love this movie so much, if you can't tell. In terms of cons, like I said, people probably find it a little bit cornier now, but really that's all I could think of with cons about this. I mean, I don't know. I honestly can't think of any major con that I have that would need to be stated, or even like a nitpick. There's nothing really that comes to mind that brings down this movie for me. I just think it's such a fun experience. If you're looking for an old slasher, this is the one to go to. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. So, overall, I would give A Nightmare on Elm Street a 10 out of 10. And I 100% recommend it. Like I just said, if you want to watch an old slasher, watch it. If you're a fan of horror movies, watch it. Now, with that being said, do not watch the 2010 remake. Watch the original. The 2010 remake is nowhere in the same stratosphere as the original. So thank you everyone for watching this review, and be on the lookout for more reviews in the future. I'm very excited about the Troll Tuesday movie that I'm going to be reviewing, so be on the lookout for that. But let's flash forward to the next reveal.